I got a permanent residence is a half of citizen. It means no matter what, I won't go back home. According to get this proof from High Court. So
have, as we speak now, about 26,000 foreign nationals in our facilities, in our prison facilities, who 13,000 have been convicted, plus minus 13,000, they are convicted, plus minus 13,000 is 50-50, are awaiting trial inmates. And we say, please also, when you engage with your nationals, also tell them to comply with the South African law.
You see, down here in Durban, there's a place called Point Road, and you can ask anyone about it. Those have become no-go areas for South Africans. We don't go to those places.
What happens in Point Road?
It's been taken over.
By whom?
By Nigerians and other foreigners who have made South Africans not to be able to come into those areas.
Why not?
Because they've taken over. They've taken over buildings, they've taken over shops, they've taken over the entire neighborhood.
What, they bought it?
Hi guys. So I did promise that I'd be more active on TikTok because nibaningi that keep asking me to upload more videos and share my thoughts, etc. So today I just want to respond to a couple of people that have been asking, when am I going to Orania? Because you see, the funny thing about social media people is they've got this conviction that somehow some of them banama thoughts or questions that I will fail to answer when it comes to this immigration issue. And I can confidently tell you that for you to trick me when it comes to this immigration thing, or for you to make me change my mind, you would actually have to be Jesus Christ. Nah, it'll take a while for him to convince me that I'm wrong in the things that I've taken years and years to evaluate, even read about, do international studies about, etc. So these little TikTok people that come with their little TikTok videos and think that somehow they are challenging me, I find so many of them so funny, because the one guy went on about me and then he's trying to prove a point about South Africa's immigration crisis by going to Zimbabwe. That's a very smart thing to do, don't you think? The immigration crisis is in South Africa, but to prove your point you go to Zimbabwe. If you want to prove an immigration crisis problem that is happening in South Africa, shouldn't you be in South Africa? Then there's that other little one, Shem, Osahle Osanaye, but I think she's still a child, who's asking me, when am I going to Orania? How will going to Orania solve an immigration crisis that we have in South Africa? Maybe it's me who's not smart enough. We've got an immigration crisis in the country with millions of immigrants in the country, taking over spaza shops, committing crime, going around undocumented so they are not found. And you want me to go to Orania? I blocked that little girl because I just didn't feel like interacting, but now I can see that some of you keep provoking me about it. So I want to hear the geniuses of the EFF would say, what is the thing around going to Orania when it comes to dealing with an immigration crisis? Maybe it's my slowness that can't figure out what's up. Guys, if anyone wants to talk about the immigration crisis in South Africa, please ask them practical questions, because I've got practical answers. I'm not talking about something that I imagine here. I'm talking about real everyday stories, things that I know. Stolen IDs by foreigners. I'm talking about tuck shop mafias, people who are forcing South Africans to not open tuck shops. I'm talking about people who have children that are raped, Pakistanis and all these Somalians and Ethiopians raping little girls. I'm talking about human trafficking that's happening. I'm talking about drugs. I'm talking about real life crime. Now you come here and you tell me about Orania. Of all the criminal things that I've mentioned and I've kept on talking about, you want to tell me about Orania? The other one called Bukweta, who came to me and claimed that what I was saying about foreigners having a safe country first principle is not true. He did a whole video saying I don't do research. And now the government is actually implementing the first safe country principle, where you can't just come from wherever you come from and land in South Africa and claim you're a refugee. In the Refugee Act. So what exactly is the government implementing right now? If guys, like these ones that think that they're like thinkers, send me real people that have real arguments and that can, actually put on something practical that I can argue with. Man, about immigration. Guys, don't take me seriously. Like, you must take me seriously. Like, I've been to Parliament presenting on this issue. I've sat with people who've done research and are currently doing research papers on the issue. I've been to several debates, several platforms. I've even engaged with international organizations on this issue. And you want to put me up with TikTok content creators? Guys, take me seriously, please. Just because I march on the streets, it doesn't mean I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, but I've met with the Minister of Education, Minister of Police. I've met with the Minister of Health. I've been to several departments. I work with the Home Affairs Department. I can call anyone from Home Affairs today because I ask answers. I've written to the Public Protector. I've written to the government of the country. I've written to parliaments. I've written to several organizations that we've written to and asked for debates. We've sat down with every single government department or my stakeholder engagements. I'm in the Crime Fighting Council specifically for this issue, immigration. Manje musan looking letela lezingane zinza go TikTok that are bored, that just want to use my name for content. Respect me, ne? And for those who think they can do better, think peace and mad and you want to claim that what we're doing is not the right way or the right approach, we're fighting the wrong people, then what's stopping you from, you know who the right people are to fight. So what is stopping you from fighting them? Like, guys, who is stopped from doing the right thing in this country? Because if wrong, you've got the liberty, you've got the free will to go out there and do the right thing the right way. But we're not going to sit here and wait for you to decide what you're going to do the right thing or you don't see. You just want to sit and record videos and write think pieces all day. Yo, guys, we've got a country to fix. You
see, down here in Durban, there's a place called Point Road, and you can ask anyone about it. Those have become no-go areas for South Africans. We don't go to those places.
What happens in Point Road?
It's been taken over.
By whom?
By Nigerians and other foreigners who have made South Africans not to be able to come into those areas.
Why not?
Because they've taken over. They've taken over buildings, they've taken over shops, they've taken over the entire neighborhood.
What, they bought it? When you say take over, did they buy it or are they renting it?
Some of the buildings are hijacked. It's like in Hillbrow in Johannesburg. It's like in Sunnyside in Pretoria. It's like there's so many. All of these places have been mushing up all throughout the country.
And who owns those buildings originally?
Most of them have been hijacked.
No, but who owns them? Who do they belong to originally?
So what happens is, some of those buildings are municipalities, and of course they can only do this with
right,
the help
they're government
of
buildings, yes. Local government buildings.
So this can only be done with the help of a South African at a municipal office, right? Who has details of what buildings are there, which buildings are vacant, etc. They sell this information, right? People come into the building, it's empty, they start taking over the building. Can be a house, they do the same thing. You come into a house, the owner is living overseas, I've got plenty of cases of people with that problem.
The owners are living overseas, and why are they not doing anything about somebody's
They don't know.
squatter?
So remember, South African law doesn't allow you to just evict someone. This is how they use the law to their favor. So once I come into your house, right, the law protects me if I don't have anywhere else to go.
So there's no legal redress. There's no way to go to court.
You can go
even
to
if it's
court.
going to take a while.
You can go to court, but I have to provide you sometimes with a place to stay before I can evict you from the house.
Right, so you have to replace a squatter. So what you're saying is they're squatting in these properties, and even if the owner comes back, some of the owners you said are abroad.
Yeah.
So even when the owner comes back and says, I want my
house
property
back.
back, if they go to court, if they win, they then have to provide an alternative. Is that the law?
Yes.
Otherwise they can't be evicted.
Yes.
Unless there's an alternative.
So I'm just trying to paint a picture for you how difficult it is for South Africans to go through these processes. So it's only now.
So
that
what are
the
they doing
government-
with those buildings? Because
So in the building, I'll share with you some videos so you can see of what they've done to some buildings. So it's people who are like an organized syndicate. It's not just ordinary you who comes from Nigeria who comes and says, hey, I'm going to take over a building. You wouldn't know that. So it's people who've got this information who are making millions out of it. Once they get into the building, they start rigging electricity. So they find ways of getting electricity into the building without paying. They do the same with municipal water. And then inside the building, there's about, in a 2-room house, they live 4 people at a time, and all these people are paying rent to one person. Sometimes they'll build other buildings inside a building so that there's more space for people to rent. And that's how they maximize profits. So one of the celebrities who passed away this year was DJ Warris.
yes.
And his job was to reclaim hijacked buildings. And he had been dealing with them. And
who gave him the job?
So he's a security company.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So as a security company, you've got a right to protect people who ask for that protection.
Right.
So he was basically reclaiming some of these buildings for the owners. And that's why they killed him. Because it's a lucrative business. People make millions
Has
out
that
of
been
it.
proven? Because I do
Yeah,
remember.
definitely.
I do remember
It's
the
been
case of
proven
his
that,
death.
that's the reason why. Because, I mean, he was getting threats to that effect anyways.
Was he making a headway? Was he
You
able?
know, this building he had reclaimed for the owner, and he was managing it. So I believe that's right now that's where the case is headed.
Which area was that building
It's
in?
in Johannesburg.
Is in Joburg.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it in one of those areas that you
Yeah.
say is occupied
Yes.
by Nigerians or other migrants?
Well, like I said, there's 2 issues here, right? And there's Nigerians who will be the syndicate,
Yes.
who run the syndicate.
Yeah.
But the people living in the building aren't necessarily Nigerians. Because remember, some of these people these are people who don't have documents to get a proper lease for a house. They'll be Zimbabweans. That's why we've got a whole host of Malawians sitting out there that people are asking, where did these people come from? Because they didn't have an idea that there's so many people who are undocumented living in the country because they're living in these buildings or even informal